Welcome back to Local Laowai. In case you missed some of the banquet knowledge we covered, stay tuned for this special review episode. Business banquets are like a game being played out by two teams, the hosts and the guests, each vying for that most coveted of prizes, reputation, known in Chinese as 面子. Banquets are usually held in private rooms inside of larger restaurants or hotels, and most of these rooms have their own name. Most likely, someone from the host party will be there to greet you at the door, but it's also a good idea to know the name of your room just in case. As you're greeting your host with a handshake and a smile, don't be afraid to use some Chinese. Teddy makes a great impression here by using the phrase,
很开心认识你.
The seating arrangement is very specific at a Chinese banquet, as your spot around the table indicates your rank within your party. The main host sits opposite the door, and the main guest sits to his or her right. The second in command for the hosts sit opposite the main host, nearest the door. The guest's number 2 sits to the left of the main host. The rest of the seats are filled in a more or less alternating manner. If you're confused where you should be sitting, wait for instruction from members of your own team. They will know how to pair you up. When everyone's seated, the main host will ask the entire party to suggest dishes to order. It's almost always best to defer to his tastes, indicated with the Chinese phrase 都可以 or 随便. However, if you have food allergies or serious diet restrictions, now is the time to let him know. When a new dish arrives on the table, the main host is the first person to take food from it. He'll usually, in a show of politeness, give the first morsel of food to the main guest who's sitting next to him. Some slippery dishes come with a communal use pair of chopsticks or spoon. Remember, these shouldn't touch your own mouth. Before you spin the lazy Susan in the middle of the table, take a look around to make sure no one's about to grab something. You're bound to encounter foods with which you are not very familiar or particularly want to eat. Do your best to give them a try, or at the very least, accept some into your plate when someone offers it to you. Make sure to stay engaged in eating. If you set your chopsticks down for long intervals without eating any food, you may be inadvertently signaling to your host to order something else more to your liking. If this happens, your team loses points. When the host wishes to end the banquet, he will always ask if more food should be ordered. The answer from the guest team should always be no. Pouring tea is a quick and easy way to show respect for others. Make sure to top off the cup of all those around you before filling your own. A teacup is full around 70%. Filling it all the way with hot tea is considered rude, as this makes the cup difficult to pick up. When others pour tea for you, thank them by tapping 2 fingers on the table near the cup, or place your hand palm up near the cup. Many beverages that are mostly served chilled in the West are commonly consumed at room temperature in China. Water is even frequently served boiling hot. Beer is also commonly served at room temperature. For cold beer, use the term 冰的. Wine is less common at Chinese banquets, but is becoming increasingly popular. If wine is served, be prepared to drink it at a faster pace than you may be used to. The smallest glass on the table is reserved for baijiu, the strong, fragrant Chinese sorghum liquor. After opening toasts are made by, first, the main host and the main guest, then the main portion of the Chinese business banquet game has officially started. Think of a toast as a play in a football game. With each toast, the offense aims to gain ground and the defense tries to minimize the damage. To make a toast, make eye contact with the target on the other team and reach for your glass. They will instinctively grab their own glass as well. Then, offer some kind words. If you're on the guest team, you can thank a host team member for the lovely meal. If you're on the host team, thank a guest for coming. Make an effort to clink the other person's glass so the rim of your glass is lower than his or hers. This is a show of respect for the other person, as it symbolizes humility. Ganbei is Chinese for, literally, dry the glass. Or in other words, drink the entire contents of your glass. Time and sobriety are finite resources. Therefore, avoid drinking alcoholic beverages on your own. If you're just simply thirsty and don't wish to make a toast, drink water, juice, or tea. You can slow down the consumption of alcohol while still making toasts by saying 随意, meaning drink as much as you wish, instead of 干杯. If you find yourself approaching your limit, don't be afraid to get creative to avoid drinking. But be warned, this is technically against the rules, so try to keep your efforts fairly inconspicuous.